I heard a story many, many years ago about a young couple who got married. And one night, the couple, they sit down for their first meal. And she brings her husband this meal, and she had made a ham. And when she brings the ham to the husband notices that the end of the ham had been cut off. And so he says to his wife, he says, well, why did you cut the end of the ham off? And she said, well, that's how you cook ham. That's what you're supposed to do. You have to cut the ham off. And he says, well, how do you know? She goes, well, that's the way my mom did it. And he thought that was really interesting. He goes, what do you mean? Like your mom told you have to cut? She goes, yeah. Whenever you make a ham, you have to cut the end of it off. So he was really intrigued with her response. The next morning, he gets up and he calls his mother-in-law. He says, hi, Mom. Just wondering, why do you have to cut the end of the ham off? And she said, well, that's just the way you have to do it. That's what you're supposed to do. And he says, what do you mean that's what you're supposed to do? How do you know that? She goes, well, to be honest with you, that's the way that my mom always did it. And so he's very, very intrigued. And so he calls the grandmother and gets her on the phone and says, Grandma, what's the deal? My wife, my mother-in-law, they all cut the end of the ham off. Why are you doing that? And she said, well, I did that because my oven was too small to hold the entire ham. And so the only way to make the ham fit was to cut an end off. Isn't that amazing that 3 generations ago, this grandmother, she had a reason as to why she did something. But as the generations go, as the patterns go, now people are just doing things without any level of a reason. They just doing it because they think they're supposed to do it. I wonder today, as you step into this new year, what are some things that you have been doing that you don't really know why you're doing it? Maybe you're just doing it because you're supposed to do it. Maybe it's just a custom. Maybe it's a thought pattern of what was passed down to you from the generations before you. You know, the definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over and over again and expect a new result. We do this. We have this tendency to repeat insane things. I'm not getting a new result, but I just keep doing the same thing over and over again. If you want to change your life, you have to first change your mind. It all begins in your mind.